WorldSkills 2007, Shizuoka Province, Japan. The British team of 22 competitors in 21 different skills categories have completed the first of 4 days of competition. At stake are gold, silver and bronze medals. And for those that reach the world skills standards, medallions for excellence. The event is a massive international gathering. Young people under 23 come together from all over the world to compete in 40 vocational skills categories. It's a celebration of technical excellence designed to promote vocational skills through competition. At the WorldSkills Village, where the majority of the 800 competitors are staying, there's a tremendous atmosphere.
We are the team from Hong Kong, China. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie!
As teams psych up for day 2, the UK competitors need to keep their focus. Team manager Bruce Robinson gives them his daily pep talk to keep minds on the job.
On the outside, you need to be calm. On the inside, your brain needs to be going at 1,000 miles an hour. You need it clicking over all the time. If you make mistakes or you're starting to panic, stop, get your hands off, refocus.
Today is body massage on a male manicure and bridal makeup.
See you soon. Good luck.
Right, see you later.
Kid.
For Jade Kidd, body massage could be a big point scorer. Although Jade runs her own business in Skegness, she had to develop and improve her techniques. Her training manager devised a programme, including a visit to a health spa in Lincolnshire to refine her body massage skills. At first, she was all fingers and thumbs. Body massage was one of her weakest disciplines.
It's this hand that I need to practice with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always have one strong hand.
Yeah.
Or weak hand.
Jade's transformation has been remarkable.
To come over and to perform the massage, I just felt so confident. I felt so good doing it. I felt myself go into the zone type thing. I just kind of block everybody out and just do what I have to do. That's when you feel like, oh no, this is going really, really well.
Stonemasonry competitor George Plant's major project is to carve an intricate workpiece in Italian Carrara marble. Some of his techniques go back 2,000 years.
Some people like working the two sides at the same time. I've always been taught to do one side, get it right, and then move on. Because obviously if you've still got rough side on one side, you can't just square off and measure off and stuff like that. Just which way you've been taught, really. And that's how I've been taught, and I'd always do it like that.
So, different strokes for different folks. But carving a difficult material with pneumatic chisels to the nearest millimetre is the name of the game for stonemasons. Cabinet makers too have to work a natural material with extreme accuracy. Powerful saws have to be set up by eye. The old adage is measure twice and cut once. UK competitor Gary Tuddenham is working from plans that he's only just had sight of. But it's not something that phases him, because it happens at his workplace, the Edward Barnsley workshop in Hampshire. The chief designer provides a concept sketch to the craftsman to work up into a finished piece of furniture.
This is the basic outline sketch that James, the designer, does. The detail on this is very little. I mean, all you see there is just the doors and how they open. It doesn't tell you how they're hinged. It basically just tells you the sizes and what's going on. And from this, I do a full-size drawing and then onto a mock-up. My day job prepares me quite well for WorldSkills because they're really similar. Getting the drawing from James, I've never seen that before. So getting the drawing from World Skills, I've never seen that before. So to translate them to a proper drawing and then on to actually go and make it, it's from home, really.
In the Automobile Trades Hall, the UK's 3 competitors are hard at work. Dan Glover has to work out precisely why a car won't start. And troubleshooting a sophisticated engine takes skill, patience, and a fair amount of intuition, all underpinned by intensive training. Jonathan Lloyd is preparing a car bonnet in the spray painting category. And Simon Noble has a chassis leg repair to perform. He's been provided with a Lexus IS 250 with a crumpled front end. Simon's got to remove the damaged panel and weld on a new one, as accurately as it would have been in the Toyota factory. The amount of metal removed has to be just right in order to make the gap between the old and new panels precisely the right size. The gap has to be filled with weld to produce a perfect finish and an accurately aligned chassis leg.
The actual gap couldn't be over 3.2 mil and couldn't be any smaller than 1.8 mil. So it's quite a sort of accurate cut line, really. Because if your gap's anywhere below or above their tolerance, then you lose points. So you have to really measure it quite accurately. Mine today was like 2 mil, really. I don't think I should have lost any points for that.
It's day 3. World Skills is not just about hand skills and traditional crafts and engineering. Alongside bricklayers like John Bourne, who have to produce walls with perfect pointing, and the painters and decorators like Chris Blake, who have to paint a representation of Mount Fuji, it's about new technologies. There's robotics and 3D computer-aided design. Michael Westlake has to deliver a complex virtual design using some high-end IT skills. Andrew Critchlow is getting to grips with fault-finding an IT network. His skill is very much about recreating the stresses that PC network support staff face in a busy workplace. Philip Jackson is the UK's CNC milling competitor. His task involves milling a block of metal using a piece of machinery costing hundreds of thousands of pounds. But Philip has had little time to practice on the specific kit here in Japan. So he's at a considerable disadvantage compared to his Asian rivals.
In the total, he probably had just 2 days tuition on the machinery to get used to it. I've watched the Japanese boy working and also the Korean, and they must have been working on that machine the way they are handling it for the last 2 years. So they have a much bigger advantage over Philip.
On the other side of the massive World Skills complex are the landscape gardeners, who in teams of 2 have to build a beautiful Japanese garden in just 4 days. Hard landscaping and imaginative planting designs have to be achieved to get the marks. There's a floristry category, where young floral designers today have a freestyle task. Natalie Stania has to blend artistic flair with technical excellence when handling delicate flowers.
My style for that piece, because it was a hanging room decoration, on a large scale you need something that's quite 3D, that it's not too transparent. There were some flowers there that I'd never used before, but I still have to wire them in the correct way. But for 3 hours it wasn't too bad.
A judge scrutinises the activity of Harry Smith, the UK's graphic design technology competitor. He's a university student, so there's a bit of a culture shock having to work under the pressure of World Skills.
Because most of the other competitors I was competing against work in the industry, they're working on tight deadlines all the time, whereas I'm working on a university project and you don't start thinking about the aesthetics until like 3 weeks into the project. It was hard to switch from that to getting like a creative design going within 6 hours.
As day 3 comes to an end, it seems there may be a crisis looming for George Plant, the stonemason.
I'm a bit worried about him. His hat's his good luck charm, so he took it off and threw it down, so not a good sign.
George is so preoccupied he doesn't hear the call for work to stop for the day. His training manager and the UK team manager move in to see what's the matter. Steph Tibbott waved us away.
Doesn't look good. He's with his training manager just now, but it's not looking very good. He's pretty upset.
I was just knackered really, and you know, it's the longest day out of all the 4. I got like most of it done and that, and there was a bit like where I messed up and that, but I suppose it just takes its toll after, you know, day 3. It just gets on top of you sometimes, doesn't it, really?
The next morning, on the final day of the competition, George's cap is back on his head. Rested and refocused, he's over the hump.
He knows what he's got to do, he knows what order he's got to do it in, and he's just running a little video inside his head so he can see exactly how he's going to work out today.
The car sprayers are hard at it. They have to prime, top coat and lacquer the wing and bonnet of a car. They'll be marked for each stage of the process, including the accuracy of the colour match. John Lloyd is mixing the gold colour for his wing. He has to do it by eye, mixing different paints together to get the right formulation for the colour he wants. He trained for this back home in Belfast.
It says it's blue black, but there's very, very little. Okay, but it will change in white dramatically.
It's a little like in the DIY store when you want a specific shade of blue mixed for you.
So what do you see in that cup is going to end up that colour?
It's a skill he had to learn from scratch, especially for the competition.
Back home, painters don't do any colour matching because our body shop's that big that there's one person that all he does is colour. He's a colourist, so he mixes a paint, gives it to us, we just spray it. But in the World Skills competition, we actually have to do that ourselves, so it was a bit of training that I'd never really done before, and I just had to do it.
World Skills is designed to stretch already highly skilled young people. The tools of the trade have to be mastered, and competitors have to be open to new techniques.
These Japanese pull saws, the blade's a lot finer and you get a lot better finish of the cut. But it was quite strange to use to start off with because you don't have a traditional handle and it cuts on the pull stroke instead of the push, so it took a little while to sort of get your head round.
Wooden hammers to beat metal, a wallpaper tool for spreading glue, and a canny use of compressed air. Over in the woodworking hall, the cabinet makers are assembling. It may look like flat-pack furniture, but you'd be very wrong. The cabinets have to be built with extreme dimensional accuracy. Gary Tuddenham takes a deep breath and prepares to screw a support frame onto the base of the carcass. A straightforward enough job, but he's courting disaster. It takes Gary a good 10 minutes to check the alignment before fixing the first screw.
If I was to screw it in the wrong place, I can't move it. Because if it was screwed, you'd be looking at moving it and it would be half a mil one way or the other. You just can't do that because you'd try to get 2 holes next to each other. You couldn't do it. So it was worth to spend a little bit of time to get it exactly in the right place and then just screw it.
Back at the car repair as a VIP. UK expert Carl Vella brings Skills Minister David Lammy over to take a look. Mr. Lammy's a big supporter of World Skills, but he wants to see even more input from employers like Carl, who runs a chain of body shops.
One of my jobs is to ensure that we've got more employers that want to get involved in World Skills, that want to put on apprenticeships, because in the end you can put all the money, government money in, but you've got to have employers. People respond to competition. They respond to be able to showing and demonstrating the skill that they've learnt. And we know that the young people in our country, in the UK, also will be inspired to take up an apprenticeship in a particular area, to do a particular vocational diploma because they've seen a caterer, because they've seen a joiner, because they've seen a specialist skill in spraying a car, because they've seen that in action, and that's why I think this is hugely important.
Day 4, the final day of competition, is coming to a close. Tense moments for competitors and judges alike. Hairdresser Donna Leach is finishing her latest style, and cabinet maker Gary Tuddenham works while his parents look on. Counting down the minutes. It's all over. Tears of pride and jubilation.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Best thing I've had in 2 weeks.
The landscapers have done. The cooks have had service. And George Plant can meet his parents.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Very proud.
3, 2, 1, stop.
It's an emotional time.
I couldn't ask any more of her. She's done everything that she's been trained for.
They're happy tears.
Gary Tuddenham's cabinet is ready for judging.
A relief to get finished.
The competitors have left the building. Now the judging begins. Tonight and all day tomorrow, they'll be forensically examining the work. They have to mark to strict criteria. The judging of Simon Noble's car has begun. His training manager, Carl Veller, doesn't take part in the judging of his own competitor, but makes sure that it's all done accurately. He's entitled to intervene when necessary. The repair has to be finished to make the metal ready for body filler to be applied. If the surface is more than 2 millimetres lower or 1 millimetre higher than it should be, the competitor will lose marks.
Too deep, right? Ready for filler? No. Too low?
Oh, that's ready. I mean, some of the others before, because we can't measure it.
No, I know. You have to feel it. You have to feel it.
No, that's ready for filler. You know, it is ready for filler.
That's pretty close. What is that? 1? Yeah, see, it has 2. Yeah, okay.
So Simon's been fairly treated.
All right.
I didn't judge that because I stand back. None of these guys will judge their own vehicle, but what we have is consistency of approach to every vehicle. So the criteria is there, the competitors know the criteria, they know what they're being judged on, and they know the standards they have to achieve.
Time to test whether Simon's welding is up to standard.
Okay. Are you okay? Okay. We're good. Next one.
The following morning, and Gary Tuddenham's cabinet has been marked. His training manager, Peter Legg, is pretty happy with what the judges had to say.
One particular area where Gary scored exceedingly well was in the draw. He's got very high marks for the running of his draw, and also his dovetailing is superb, exceedingly high quality. Very, very little gap anywhere in the joint itself.
On a dovetail joint, you can work to around about 0.3 of a millimetre on the setting outlines to make sure that the joint is tight and correct. 1/10 of a mil here and there makes a massive amount of difference.
This dovetails are extremely good. Very nice. Looks like the goods.
Loving it, mate. Loving the bullet trick.
On the day of the judging, the UK team went to Tokyo for a bit of R&R.
We're right in the middle of downtown Tokyo.
We gave them a video camera to record the trip for posterity. Some culture was absorbed at a Buddhist temple, the Sensoji, which is Tokyo's oldest, and right next door to a shopping arcade. Time to judge the car paint sprayer's colour matching. Samples from the competitors are compared with a reference colour. The judges do blind marking for this test. They have to put their cards on the table.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3.
Subjective marking and deadly serious, really. The landscape gardens are being judged. Someone's paving isn't going to get full marks. And it's not just about aesthetics. Hard landscaping has to be done accurately.
4, 2, 0, 1.
Okay. The major project piece for the welders is a complex pressure vessel.
This vessel is there tested hydrostatically to 1000 psi, and the vessel has to hold that pressure for 60 seconds. You see here now that the sides physically bulge. If we're looking at this now from a quality viewpoint, you'll see here now this weld here was completed with the mag welding process. Visually perfect. This weld here was completed with the TIG welding process. Here we have a weld completed with manual metal arc, all of a high quality. However, some areas are not as good as they ought to be. Just here, the ripple formation is a little bit inconsistent. Also here where the weld's been terminated, and this is the sort of thing we look at when we come to marking the vessel.
Night falls and the UK team explores Tokyo some more. Interesting cuisines on offer.
Would you eat one?
Probably.
Really?
And pachinko slot machines.
Oh my God, how loud is this?
The boys watch the girls go by.
Nice, really nice. The chicks are hot.
We're now entering the English pub, much to Steph's disgust.
So much for going and experiencing the Japanese culture. Let's go to the English pub.
So, Steph, what drink have you ordered tonight?
Water.
Which is actually a gin and tonic.
The morning after the night before, and the competitors have got themselves dressed up for the closing ceremony. Nerves are jangling because today the medals will be awarded.
I don't think I've won a medal. Pretty sure I haven't.
Do we need these?
Come along just for the experience. Obviously to try and win a medal, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, does it?
They're pretty nervous. I think realistically they all know how they've done. So I think, and yet their heart of hearts, I think they know whether they've won or not. But I think some of them might have expectations that might get dashed, so I don't know.
Okay, UK team. Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah, I've loved it. Loved every single second of it. One in a lifetime chance, isn't it? So it's been absolutely awesome. Awesome.
No one will know who's won anything until the announcements are made from the podium at the closing ceremony. It's a waiting game for competitors and their training managers.
I'm feeling good, feeling good. It's down to the marking at the end of the day and we'll find that out fairly shortly.
The stress is now finished and it's back to normal life. You don't have to pull that face.
I think everyone's worked really hard as a team, both the competitors, the technical experts, the judges. It's a team result tonight. I look forward to waving my Union Jack and cheering everybody on.
Time for the medals to be awarded.
The gold medal goes to Japan,
Nippon,
Switzerland, South Tyrol, Italy, Finland, New Zealand, France, Austria, Canada.
Will the Brits win anything? Who'll be going home empty-handed?
The bronze medal goes to Mr. Simon Noble, United Kingdom.
It's a bronze for car repair.
The bronze medal goes to Mr. Jonathan Lloyd, United Kingdom.
And for car painting.
The silver medal goes to Mr. Harry Smith, United Kingdom.
A silver for graphic design. Then cabinet making gets the big one.
And the gold medal goes to Mr. Gary Tudham, United Kingdom.
Over the moon. Really, really good. Really good. Did you have a clue? No, I thought the Swiss guy who had it, so unbelievable. Really good.
As celebrations start, for many, just feelings of what might have been. Gary Tuddenham scored the third highest mark in the entire competition, an astonishing performance. Medallions for excellence were awarded to the competitors who achieved a world-class standard by Simon Bartley, Chief Executive of UK Skills.
Andrew Critchlow!
I didn't expect to get this, so I'm over the moon.
William Todd!
That's a huge relief to know that I'm not going home empty-handed.
I'm well chuffed.
Stuart Spear!
Chuffed to pieces we're getting this. This will be in every boozer in Grimsby before long.
We haven't sunk in yet. Really happy. A bit gutted, obviously, but hey, it's a medallion of excellence. How many people have one of them? Natalie Stadion! Jade King!
I'm pleased, really pleased.